So we start here with the renal capsule. Layer of connective tissue seen on the external surface of the kidney. The main function is to maintain the shape and structure of the actual organ. All right. Deep to the capsule, you're going to see a little lighter area here that is called the renal cortex. It is not a specific structure per se. It's an area. So if you look in your books and your diagram, you will see brackets around the area. That is telling you that it's the entire area. That's your renal cortex. Similar to what you see with lymph nodes and also adrenal glands, you're going to see a cortex, but you also see a medulla. So the medulla is going to be deeper. The medulla is marked by these areas, or these structures here that are called renal pyramids. So you have renal pyramids in the renal medulla. Notice the way I said that, because if you look in your books, in the lab manual, you will see brackets around the area where the renal medulla is. So the medulla is the entire space. The renal pyramid will specifically point to one of these structures. So you can see here from the three-dimensional aspect, the pyramids are roughly shaped like a cone. All right? When you cut them in 2 dimensions, they look like little triangles. The tips of the renal pyramids, the lighter white areas, those are called renal papilla. Important because we'll look at something that passes through there. And if you notice that there are extensions of the cortex that come down in between those renal pyramids, those are renal columns. Renal columns. So renal columns are extensions of the cortex that go into the renal medulla. Okay, so cortex, medulla, renal pyramids, renal columns, renal papilla so far.
So everything's on renal. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Now this, what we just talked to you about, the renal cortex and medulla, everything that's found in there is called also the parenchyma of the kidney. The parenchyma of any organ is the actual functional tissue. So if the kidney's main job is to make urine, that urine production occurs here in the parenchyma of the kidney. Now if you look in this central area here, there's a bunch of tubings. If you could pull all of those tubes out, what you'd be left with is a space. That space is called the renal sinus. In most cases, it's occupied by those tubes, but you can also see in some cases it's occupied and filled in by fat or adipose tissue. So this is fat in the renal sinus. The way that this works is that when the kidneys make urine, the urine has to be drained and collected through a series of tubes. That drainage...
The renal sinus, how would you, like a model, like what would it point to? Like
Here, the space. Right. So the renal... Hold on. See, that's why I tell y'all, y'all have to wait till I ask questions, because now I forgot what it was. So yeah, y'all write the question down and ask me later if y'all got a question, because now I got to...
you said the spaces.
Space. Oh, the tube. I was talking to you about urine drainage. That's it. When we look at urine drainage, that urine has to be collected and drained out of the parenchyma, okay? In order to do that, you're going to see a series of tubes. We're going to look here first at the tubes in the renal sinus, okay? The tubes in the renal sinus, what happens is that they start here with these little cup-like structures that are going to surround the renal papilla. The cup-like structures that surround the renal papilla, these are called minor calyces. There's one cut in half here, one there, one there, one there, one there, all right? From there, it's a series of merging tubes. The minor calyces are going to merge to form a major calyx. So you see 1 and 2 minor calyces here merge together to form what is right here, which is a major. The major calyces, which will be coming from here, here, and here, are then going to merge as well. When they merge, what they give rise to is a structure right here around the area called the renal hilum, but this structure is called the renal pelvis. So here's the flow pattern. There's a lot of flow patterns with the kidney that you just have to work at. Minor calyx to major calyx to renal pelvis, and then the renal pelvis will connect with the ureter that comes out of the kidney, okay? So that's what you're looking at here. Minor calyx, major calyx in this area, this will be one here, another one there, renal pelvis here, and then the ureter outside of the kidney. I mentioned to you another area very briefly there called the renal hilum. Hey, hold that down, don't get me on tape.
I'm not.
I'm going to check the video before I leave too.
Your
The renal hilum here is an area where structures come in and out of the kidney. You'll see the renal artery, renal vein, the ureter also coming in and out, along with nerves, lymphatics, and other stuff that you can't really see on this model. Okay? All right. So that's kind of the basics there of the kidney.